Live from First Street Studios in South Tampa, Florida. It's time for another round of Last Call.
So earlier video, we talked about most influential fighters in mixed martial arts history. One name we briefly glanced over, Dan, somebody I think deserves a whole lot of praise, because without her, do we have women in the UFC? I'm talking about Ronda Rousey. Where do you put her in there in terms of the most influential fighters in UFC history? Where do you rank her in that situation? Let's do an omnibus about her.
For women's sports of MMA?
In general.
Gina Carano, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Cyborg. Mm-hmm. For women's MMA. Probably pioneers, but as far as overall,
yeah,
Ronda Rousey, you got to put her in the top 7, at least.
I'd have to, because Gina had everything you wanted going for her, right? Gina, not to be funny, but Gina was, aesthetically pleasing. I think that's how you say it.
Oh, like a Hollywood superstar.
Looked like a Hollywood superstar, model looks, got out there and, fought like hell. It was an enjoyable fighter to watch. Her problem was she was on the B show. Never got to the UFC.
Right.
Because back then Dana White said women will never fight in the UFC.
Yep.
Cyborg, if we talk dominance, Cyborg, Amanda, 1A.
Yeah.
Nobody did it longer and more dominant than those two, but let's be honest. We live in I don't agree with this. We live in a sex sell society, correct? Ronda had that appeal. She was, she had this appeal on the eyes. She ran her mouth. She got out there and laid people out. She got out there and would drop women, armbar them in under a minute. I mean, she had a dominant streak. But I know you have a caveat about this, and I think we're on the same page. So I'm going to let you see if we're on the same page. Caveat-wise.
Well, I think there's a lot to it, because Misha Tate, as an example, she was a pioneer in there.
Yeah.
And she was a beautiful girl.
Absolutely.
As far as all that quality. And, okay, somebody might sit there and say, well, Cyborg wasn't as good looking, right? Well, you're not as good looking as me. It's just a part of life, right? But
hey, I hold on a minute there, Chief.
All right, pardon the interruption.
Not biggest arms in Hillsborough County, right there.
But my point is, what you got to look at the Ronda Rousey situation is she was an Olympic athlete. Again, we go back to those measuring sticks, right?
Yeah.
So she did really well in the Olympics. I think she got a bronze medal in judo.
Yeah.
Right? Came into the UFC when it was in its infancy,
right,
for the women division, right?
Right.
And she did very well. But I will say something, though. And a lot of people give Liz Carmouche, our former Marine, right, buddy of the military network and the clothing networks and all that. Liz Carmouche had her deep in a rear naked choke, if you remember.
Oh, yes.
And if Ronda would have lost that fight, we aren't even talking about Ronda Rousey right now, if you think about it, when the time it happened.
Are we talking women's MMA?
Yes, just in general. I'm saying because she would have lost that early, and we've seen what happened to her when she lost again to Holly Holm.
Right.
If Carmouche would have submitted her that early on, I think it was Ronda's first debut fight.
Her first fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
First ever one.
This Carmouche had her deep in a rear naked. Would we have had the 11 fight string of Ronda Rousey? That's my question. Not now, because that didn't happen, and she got out of that hot water, deep waters. Mm-hmm. Then she went on and just had an amazing career. And then when she finally got beat by Holly Holm, and then after she lost to
Amanda
Nunes, what ended up happening was, okay, she realized there's a deficiency in her game. So is it time to walk away? She had a beautiful run, Hall of Famer. And then she went in to do some movies, and then now into the WWE. So I would say I got to put her at 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there, because I think the women are bringing huge numbers to the UFC right now. And she had a long enough win streak. The only problem is I think I still have to put Amanda Nunes as a 2-belt champ.
Yeah.
Inside of Ronda Rousey. So I'm thinking she's 7 solid at 8. If that was your question.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking best, I'm going to be blunt with you here, okay? Cyborg, Amanda, they're here. Hell, I'd even put Shevchenko.
Absolutely.
Here. Okay? When Thug Rose is on her game, I'd put Thug right up there too.
All around.
All around. Now, Ronda, though, if we're talking pure influence, and again, I'm not saying this, I don't care what these women look like, Dan. I'm not looking.
No, but other people do.
I'm not looking at this, exactly. Other people do. This is from my perspective, Jay's perspective, okay? I'm not looking this isn't a trip to Hooters for me, okay? I'm not looking for a Playboy centerfold or some girl that's going to be on the cover of.
I lost my mic, so hold on.
Okay, I'm not looking at somebody that's going to be on the cover of a hot magazine. I don't care what a girl looks like. I want to see what they do in a cage because it's 2023. But we live in a society where, let's be honest, it sells. Is it fair? No, but. It's also subjective. Like you said, you think you're better looking than me. I think you're full of crap when you say that, but just joking about that. But hey, Ronda had the full package, and I don't think we would ever have gotten women in the UFC if it wasn't for Ronda's larger-than-life personality. She had that. She got out there. She was interesting women. She had that it factor to her, and the fact that she, was appealing looking, helped. So that's where I think, in terms of influence, she's here because if it ain't for her. We're not talking about Amanda. We're not talking about Cyborg. Cyborg's beating people up in Bellator.
Yeah, but in the past, we talked about Conor McGregor moving the sport from here to here.
Sure.
Ronda Rousey did the same thing for women.
Exactly.
Yeah, so but I still have to put her, you said the GOAT or the best, right?
In terms of influence, yeah.
Yeah, I would have to basically say she's somewhere in that 7 to 8 range.
Fair enough.
As far as with the males too, though. Overall.
Yeah, we're talking in total.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad. No.
All right, man. So we'll get back to y'all soon on another show. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe.